Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart show today. I'm Steve Ramoni, your host. I'm very excited to bring on Tom Paladino. He's going to talk about some very awesome things he does. And Tom, welcome to the show. Tell us who you are, what you're about. Give me your title and your business name.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. My name is Tom Paladino. My work is a technology, if you will, a new science, as I would see it, scalar energy technology. It's not electricity. It's a different type of energy spectrum. And this has been my life's work. This has been my passion to bring forward this new technology, scalar energy technology, to mankind. The technology that I will vouchsafe offers mankind great promise. Great benefits will be derived from this technology.
Fantastic. Are you the founder, you and your wife, the founder, CEO of the company?
Yes, I am. Correct.
Awesome. How did you get into this? This is very unique. So your background's got to be unique.
Yeah, I would say so. I think God prodded me. The Holy Spirit gave me the prompting to get into this type of research. Why? Well, anytime God is prompting a person to get involved in some aspect of creation, it's always to the benefit of the people, and it always glorifies God. So my work, working with this, what I consider divine energy, will serve to glorify God, and then accordingly will benefit the people in the process. And I'll explain how we're presently benefiting people around the world.
Oh, that's fantastic. Tell me a story of a client that you work with and what transpired.
Well, let me make it clear. When I'm working with this energy, it's quite unique. I don't work with people per se in the physical realm. I work with people through their photograph, which could be considered quantum energy, or, if you will, non-physical energy found on a photograph. So people will actually email me a photograph, and I work with their photograph by placing the photograph inside a scalar energy instrument. And what I've ascertained working through a person's photograph, you can send information. It's sort of like a cell phone. If you can send information by way of a cell phone, then a photograph is essentially a wireless cell phone. I can send information through a photograph. What can I do with a photograph? Well, I can download instructions. I can actually create vitamins or minerals through that instructional field. Or in reverse, I could break apart, say, a toxin or a bacterium. All of that is actuated by this non-physical intelligence. It's action. It's not a chemical reaction. It's not, if you will, electromagnetic in character. It's non-physical quantum information.
So we could say you're healing with their picture.
Yes, through their picture, correct. But I want to make this very clear. In the quantum realm, my photograph equates to me. My photograph is my bilocated version. I don't work with people, human beings. I work with their bilocated version of photograph. So in other words, a person can be in two places at once. That is theorized to be true in the scalar realm. I want to make that clear. This is not Newtonian physics. I'm not a medical professional. I'm a scalar energy researcher, and I've discovered that the photograph and the person are identical. They're in a real-time setting.
How long have you been doing this, Tom?
This has been my life's work. This is 50 years of research.
Oh my gosh, this is so interesting. So you have a client. Let's go through that little journey. You get a new client. Let's say it's me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm your new client. Let's kind of walk through a 5-minute journey. I know it's longer than that, but
not a problem. People will email me a photograph. We have a website. People will email us a photograph. We have 15 days of free sessions in which we want to introduce this. And during those 15 days, working now through the quantum realm, through a photograph, we're able to create nutrients, amino acids, proteins, antioxidants, vitamins. Number two, we're able to identify microbes, germs, and break them apart, negate the molecular bonds of a microbe. And then the third modality, we're able to balance the brain waves, or what I would consider the non-physical thoughts or intelligence, if you will. We do all of that through a person's photograph. So again, it's not a biological process. It's a new science. It's a quantum science. And when people see the benefit of non-physical science, they'll see that in many ways it outpaces physical science.
What are some of those benefits?
Well, today in my laboratory, I worked with, this is just an example, 500,000 photographs. In other words, you don't need to visit a factory or a laboratory. I work with 500,000 people today by way of their photograph. So one person, I'm the operator, I can create nutrients for 500,000 people. I can break apart microbes for 500,000 people. I can balance their chakras, their brain waves for 500,000 people. Now, again, don't equate this to Newtonian physics or Western science. It is not. It's a new science in which we're working through, let's say it's a person's force field, or some people might call it their aura or their quantum body. It's entirely non-physical.
That is, you're blowing my mind. I know the audience is being blown away. By the way, you can reach out to Tom in the show notes, and I ask that you do that. Are you willing to work, give somebody a little discovery call, or talk about that a little bit? Somebody wants to reach out to you.
Sure. We have a website, and we have 3 or 4 people always answering the phone, which is necessary. Now, I'll be the first to admit this takes an education, this takes time. So I've written probably 300 articles on my website that explain this process. Now, to make this clear, likewise, I think this is unique. My instruments are unique. My approach is unique. I'm the only one in this specific field that's working along these lines. So I don't think anybody else in the world is doing what I'm doing, to cut to the chase. Hence, education is the key, and that's why I have the website.
And this is a show podcast about serving. What I'm hearing from you, Tom, you're serving a lot of people.
Yes, thank you. You see the benefit now. If I can work with 500,000 people a day by way of their photograph, that's a global healing ministry. And I don't take the credit. I'll give the credit to God, to Amen. Jesus. But that's where I'm going with this. Now, this is what Nikola Tesla envisioned. You see, working through the physical world is an encumbrance.
Yeah.
It's a ball and chain. When you work with non-physical energy, light, you can do anything, and you could do it in a snap.
Wow, that's and you, Nikola Tesla, talk about a guy that you want to align yourself with. That is a smart dude, from my perspective.
In many ways, I've copied his work.
Have you really? So you've studied him for a while?
Yeah.
Wow, this is.
I'm going to make this very clear to your audience. Tesla had 2 careers. Initially, he was working with AC electricity. Mm-hmm. Some point in time, he discovered what he called radiant energy or scalar energy. His second career was radiant energy, which is non-physical scalar energy. He had 2 careers.
I did not know that. That's interesting. I'll have to check that. Is there information on your website about that people can find out?
Yeah, I broach that subject.
Great. That's great, because, especially with Tesla cars now, not that it's connected, but Tesla's in forefront of people's mind because of the car. And I think people would be interested to learn more. Well, it sounds like you've done a lot of studying, and I love that about you, because I tell the audience, and I believe the more you study, the better person you are, which means you can help more people.
Exactly.
Let's talk about some books that you've read that really helped you grow.
Yeah. As a youngster, it was the Bible, because you have to have that holistic understanding. You have to have the Bible's not just a book on morality, it's a book on history, and you can glean physics, and you can glean chemistry, you can glean biology from the Bible. And then you have to have in my case, you have to have a well-rounded academic background. In order for me to pursue this career in scalar energy research, yes, I had to have proficiency in physics, some proficiency in math, an understanding of what I would call immaterial science, non-physical science, or what many people call religious science. All of that plays into parts. So you're right. Education is really the key.
Now, with the Bible, and I love that you said that, because I'm a prayer and faith and all that, love the Lord. How is that going to help my business people in this audience?
If you follow the Bible would really be the manuscript for a well-run company. You have to have rules, you have to have guidelines. And frankly, if all the corporations in the world would incorporate those principles, those guidelines, we'd have a very successful business world.
That's amazing. I guess it would change the world a little bit too, you think?
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
It would.
Any other books that you've read or information that you have?
You have to go back. You have to search for it. But books on Tesla are fascinating, and if you really can pierce through that shell of understanding and realize what he was working with later in his career, he was working in another dimension. That's what I'm working with. It's a different dimension. It's not Newtonian physics. So if you want, pick up some of Tesla's work, especially later in his life, and he will speak quite bluntly about this, what he called the wheelwork of the universe, the kinetic energy behind the entire universe. And he presumed that it would operate through the ether, but it was in and of itself non-physical. I concur with that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So in regards to Newtonian, let's break it down to more simple terms.
Yes.
Can you do that for me so the audience is like,
it's very simple. God created one energy, scalar energy, and that's what drives the sun and the stars. And a derivative of scalar energy is electricity and magnetism. So the primary energy of the universe is scalar energy or radiant energy. And the secondary energy is AC electricity or DC electricity, if you will. It's so simple. The number one primary initial energy of the stars is scalar energy.
Wow. Okay, that's simple. If I can understand, I'm sure my audience can, because I'm a simpleton. That's great. Now, you mentioned something earlier. You work with your wife in this program?
No, she takes a passive role, but she's there always for support. Frankly, I'm the only scalar energy researcher in this specific pursuit. And there's other researchers, but they're not taking up what I would consider quantum health through a photograph.
Right. Now let's because I have audience members that are spouses that help with their business.
Yeah.
I love to talk about that because people are like, oh, don't work with your wife or work with your husband. It's hard. How do you make that work?
My wife, by the way, my wife by trade is a nurse, and she gives me really great insight, and she has great ideas, but her bailiwick, her expertise is not in scalar energy research. So she has the common sense approach, and she's been very helpful to me, very supportive. That's what really counts.
I love the collaboration. That's fantastic. And I love how you said that she's a nurse. It's different, but she puts stuff out there for you to at least you guys can talk about or you can think about. Right. It works. If it doesn't work, we move on to the next thing. That's very important in collaboration with, even with brothers and sisters and things like family members is always a certain dynamic. I'm sure you probably could help with those type of business too with this scalar, right?
I think scalar is going to prove to be the unifying principle. If it's from God, I believe it's from God. It will help to unify mankind.
Why are not more people doing this?
It's suppressed. I'm going to be very candid with you. This is free energy. I've tapped into an energy source that's free. It's from the sun. It's from the stars. There are some groups out there who do not want free energy. It would upset the industry, if you will, the energy industry. Yeah,
and then because they're charging, and yeah, I could see that definitely. There's going to be a conflict of butting of heads. In regards to this business, how do you run do you do group sessions? Do you do individual? How does that work for a person coming aboard?
People will email us photographs, and we have a support desk, an order desk, and you have to walk people through the process, and we're willing to do that. And it boils down to education, and then people going to our website and trying. You have a 15-day free trial. That's what it takes. This is avant-garde. I know it's out of the box. So you have to be willing to give away 15 days of free sessions and to support people through that period.
I love that. Talk more about that, how they can get access to that.
Okay. I have one website, scalarlight.com. And through that website, that's our portal to this quantum healing. Again, you're going to email us your photograph. You go to the website, scalarlight.com. You will upload your photograph. That's all you have to do. Just send a bus shot. And for 15 days, you'll experience a nutrient program, a germ cleanse, a microbial cleanse, and chakra balancing. And then we let you decide how this new technique, how this quantum technique benefits your spirit body. It's not a biochemical reaction. It's an informational process.
Is there a transition from the spiritual body to your physical health body? Do you get healthier?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Invariably, people tell us that. But keep in mind, I can't prove that. Nobody can prove that yet. Because how many people can say that there's a connection between a photograph and a person? That's theory. So, like any new science, we have to learn. And what I've learned, I'm trying to proffer that. I'm trying to present that to the world, but it's far-reaching.
Yeah.
You really have to disengage from electromagnetic theory and start thinking along radiant theory or scalar energy theory. The two are different.
Right. No, and I'd love to get that information out because health, if you don't have your health as a business owner or a business person, you're not going to be profitable. I mean, you're just not going to grow, right? And
exactly.
I think the mental health's more important than the physical because you take care of the head, right? The physical.
The way I look at it, sound health is another investment. Yeah, I realize it takes time and money, but many things do. And if you're going to put time and money into advertising and promotion and your work staff, then you really should put time and energy into your wellness.
Yes, yes, I agree with that. Any other thoughts about what you do that the audience needs to know?
Every day I have goals, 3 or 4 goals, and I've already met them. Goals. Now, why do I know it sounds simplistic, but it keeps away the nonsense.
Yeah.
You keep positive and you look for the goal. You don't dilly-dally. And then it gives you structure. It gives you something to look forward for. So the day is never wasted with me. I don't spend my time on social media. I have goals, business goals. I meet those goals. They're positive goals that obviates all types of nonsense, all types of gossip, wasting time. At the end of the day, it's always positive. My goals are met. It's a plus. It's a day that we can celebrate. It's a day of productivity.
And I love that you said positive a number of times because that's the whole key in everything.
Yeah.
So can you help somebody? We're all going to have bad days, negative days, whatever, something, whatever happens, family or business. How does this help that in regards to that?
I've understand that some people say the chakra balancing gives them clarity. It doesn't make the world's problems go away, but they can distinguish, they can make that conscious notion that what's good is good and what is wrong and evil needs to be avoided. So it if you will correct the conscience.
Awareness. Is that what you're talking about? Awareness, some type of awareness. Sure. So don't run into the flaming house, run out of that flaming house, because you run in the flaming house, that's your evil, that's your negativity. Well, that's a very interesting way of looking at it. Stay away from it, it'll never happen, in a sense.
Yeah. To distinguish between right and wrong, I think we've lost that. Some people, they just don't examine their conscience, and it gets away from you.
Yeah.
Go back to basics. I try and keep life very simple.
I love that. Yeah. No, it does, because I've lived my life simple too, so I love hearing that. Now, some people look down on me on that, but I don't care what other people think. I've learned that.
Yeah,
but
I think that you're close to God when you do that.
Yeah,
I realize life can become complicated, but this is proven. We can only concentrate on one aspect at a time. So if you're in the business world, try not to multitask. At least not by way of mental, by way of cerebration. You want to concentrate on one aspect at a time. You'll make great progress.
I love that. Focus, awareness, mind. You're on the right track, Tom. This is incredible. Hey, audience, can you do me a huge favor? Reach out to this guy. I'm going to reach out and do it and learn about what he's doing. I want to thank you, Tom, for being on the show. This has been enlightening for me. Definitely unique. And if you have a unique business out there, I think you should reach out to Tom, because he can give you some great tips, because that's a whole different way to run a business than if you're a financial advisor and there's 10 million financial advisors out there. That's a different challenge. The challenge of being unique, you said it earlier, is to get people to believe and understand what you're trying to do. Yeah. So with that being said, I always love to leave the audience with a great tip, something that can help them in their journey, in their business.
Don't be too hard on yourself. Life is a series of successes. Make every day count. Have 1 or 2 goals a day. If you can achieve those 1 or 2 goals a day, let's say you go to work 250 days out of the year, then that's 250 or 500 goals that you achieve a year. That's quite something to be proud of.